Good evening, committee chair and committee members. My name is Jan Hauser. I am the wastewater division manager. I'm here today to talk about the capability or the possibility of diverting stormwater to the wastewater system in an effort to increase our recycled water volumes. Specifically, the recommendation is that the Public Works and Transportation Committee receive and file a report on the diversion of stormwater to the sanitary sewer for the purpose of increasing available source water for the advanced water purification facility. Okay, at the January 4th City Council meeting, there were a couple questions asked related to this issue. First one is it feasible to pump or divert stormwater into the sanitary sewer for the purpose of increasing the volume of treated wastewater available for the production of recycled water at the AWPF? The second question was, does the city have a policy on the use of gray water systems? So I'm going to address that first question first. So to put it in perspective and to put it in context, I want to talk a little bit about our existing facilities. The current AWPF is designed to treat 6.25 million gallons per day. To do that, it needs 8 million gallons of treated wastewater as its input. The other 1.7 million gallons is reject water or wastewater that is then conveyed to our ocean outflow, mixed with the treated wastewater effluent and sent to the ocean. Okay, the facility is designed to ultimately be expanded to 25 million gallons per day, but obviously to do that, we need the treated wastewater source water. So we currently have enough treated wastewater today to double the size of the plant to 12.5 million gallons per day. So the first part of the second part of the system I want to talk about is the wastewater collection system. So the wastewater collection system is approximately 400 miles of pipe that are buried in the ground throughout the city that are sized to transport and convey produced wastewater from residential, commercial, and industrial facilities to convey that to the wastewater treatment plant. The system is not sized to take stormwater. So including or putting stormwater into the sanitary sewer system potentially would overtax the system and cause backups. So that would have to be looked at very closely. And finally, the other piece of infrastructure in this equation is the wastewater treatment plant itself. So it is designed, again, to treat domestic, commercial, and industrial wastewater. And it also is required to feed water over to the advanced water purification facility at a steady rate, which requires equalization. So the couple areas that will need to be evaluated and looked at closely if we consider further putting stormwater into the sanitary sewer collection system fall into really three areas. First one is regulatory, the second one is technical, and the third is operational. So the first thing we would need to look at is the impacts on our regulated system. So we are very highly regulated by the state through a National Pollution Discharge and Elimination System permit. That permit sets water quality constituent limits in the water that we put out into the ocean, which will be modified or changed the more that we treat at the advanced water purification facility. So that will have to be looked at and evaluated very closely. The permit also prohibits some things getting into the sanitary sewer system. Specifically, it prohibits stormwater, surface water, and groundwater from entering the sanitary sewer system, which is identified in the city ordinance section 19-25. The second area that will need to be looked at very closely is technical aspects of doing this. And really, stormwater flows fall into kind of two modes. One is dry weather flows, which are continuous, they're very low flows, and generally have very poor water quality. Diverting these flows will not help our volumes at the advanced water treatment plant, and these kind of diversions are generally used to increase water quality. So we actually have one of these systems in our wastewater system out at Kitty Beach to improve the water quality on Kitty Beach. The second mode is really wet weather flows induced by rainstorms, and that's really the focus of this topic. So these flows are generally characterized by very high volumes of water, very low quality of water during the first flush, and increasing quality as the event proceeds. And again, these can be very, very large volumes of water that would overtax our system if we just allowed them to enter the system uncontrolled. So we would need to look at some type of storage. So then the third area is operational, and that really is how does diverting stormwater into our system affect the operation of the system, right? And again, probably the most important aspect is large volumes of water entering our system that are not designed to handle these very large flows. So we would again need to find a way to store large volumes of water and then control the amount we put back into the system or into the sanitary sewer system over a long period of time. We do have a hydraulic model of the system which we could use to evaluate this issue. And then there may be potential unknown impacts on the performance of the treatment processes themselves that would need to be looked at. So in summary, this is a very complex issue that will require further and detailed analysis to determine all the issues, all the risks that would come with diverting stormwater into the sanitary sewer system. And then finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the city policy on the use of gray water systems. And while there is no specific policy in the city, we do follow the California Plumbing Code, which does allow for gray water systems specifically in chapter 15. As of today, we do not have any gray water systems in the city. So there's no direct financial input on receiving and filing this report. And that concludes my presentation. I appreciate your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.